Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in the month of September 2018. Hello, Leos. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything's going swimmingly. Oh, boy. Anyway, Leo. Shuffled off camera, laid out your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once that's out and all cards are face up, I'll begin the reading. You look for the timestamp in the box below for when the reading actually begins if you want to go ahead and skip ahead. Also down there, you're going to find information on how to book a private reading with me. It's simple. It's about 3 or 4 steps. Send me an email, give me a little detail, and then I will record you a video very similar to this. And it will be delivered to you privately for your own viewing. And you can own it forever. It's wonderful. All right. Outcome for Leo in September 2018. Let's get into it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Out of control. A lot of poppers. A lot of poppers. More than 2, so we don't take them. One more time, Leo. Outcome for September, please. Oh, a lot of things flipped over as well. I didn't see that. So let's get those turned back around the way they should be in the deck. Look at me having a technical difficulty in front of you, Leo. Make sure all those are face down. They are. All right, let's one more time, huh? There it goes. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy for September. And it came as a sidewinder, so let's see what we're going to do with that. Which way for Leo, please? Thank you. Okay. Lots of face down cards, so let's see what we're dealing with. What are the mysteries that lie on the table for you, Leo? Okay. Wow. I shouldn't say wow. I was more saying wow because there are no majors, so that's interesting that there are no majors. Anyway, where is Leo, please, for September 2018? Please show me where Leo is in September 2018. Here? Okay, thank you. All right, Leo. Coming into September, you come in as the King of Cups in reverse. By the way, this is a new camera, so hopefully you guys will get a clearer picture. Anyway, come in as the King of Cups in reverse, Leo. So, you might be a little stingy in September with your affections, with your heart, with your time. Yeah, like with your affection and your time, like the way that you show affection, or like how often you show affection to someone. Not necessarily romantic. This could be friends. This could be family. This could even be towards yourself. You might not be treating yourself so well in September as you start off. Because the King of Cups is, a compassionate king. He's the King of Cups, for God's sakes, right? So he really is the master of his emotions. He's the master of love, romantic love, platonic love, all types of love, self-love, right? And he's very acutely aware of who he is and how he feels at all times. But he just normally doesn't express it overtly. He's usually more controlled, like I said, mastery of it. But in the reverse, that's still true. I think you still know who you are, Leo. I think you still know how you feel about a certain someone, whether it's romantic or not. I think you know how you feel about yourself. And I just feel like it's just not being expressed. Like you're holding it close to your chest, or you're kind of like locking it away for like a special occasion, Like I think Leo's energy, if I recall, over the past few months has been sort of back and forth between feeling really exuberant and really like positive and thrilled about life or thrilled about the future, to feeling like, oh man, I'm never going to get what I want. I'm never going to get anything off of the ground. I'm never going to get out of this rut that I'm in. So it's like this seesaw thing has been going on. And I think like this is sort of like what happens, right? Because Leo leads with the heart. It is Leos are, rulers of the heart, you know, and are associated with the heart chakra, are associated with love, are associated with that communal love of friends, of family, of lovers or significant others or spouses or whatever. And Leo often demonstrates that depth of love that a lot of people want, you know, and sort of fantasize about. Not to say like Leos can do no wrong, because that would be a falsehood. That would be so false. But the idea is that Leo often gives until the very last drop, until, you know, the container is empty, until it's dried up, right? And there's sort of like this sacrificial thing going on. Like, Leo is not sacrificial. Thank you for correcting me. Not sacrificial, bold. There's a boldness that Leo innately has. Leo's not afraid to say I love you to someone, whether it's romantic or not. Like, they're not afraid to express their affections and what they feel for another person. And the King of Cups is the same way, but he's more reserved about it. So, and when he's in the reverse, it's like even more so. And he might even be a little bit moody. Like, he might, you know, when something is in the reverse, oftentimes it's like the quote unquote like the negative side or the con side or the not so great side of the card. Sometimes, not all the time. And in the case of the court cards, that's usually what's going on. So, Leo, you're just not feeling so lovey-dovey. You're not feeling so open and receptive to your own emotions. You're kind of, like I said, you're safeguarding them, or you're holding them close to your chest. You're locking them up for a rainy day. It's just, you're really not in the mood to do this. So if this is about a relationship, maybe you've hit like a rough patch in your relationship. Maybe you and your partner aren't necessarily getting along, or you're not seeing eye to eye on something, or, you know, it takes a lot for a Leo to quote unquote like be on, you know what I mean? To be that fun, affectionate, loving, and lovable person, you know, the scamp of the friends crew, the one who like cracks the jokes, the one who's like, hey guys, let's get together, let's go out to brunch, let's go hit up the clubs, let's go hit up some bars, like essentially like the ringleader in a way. Sometimes, often a Leo is, or if not the ringleader, then like the main performer within the group, right? So maybe you're not necessarily organizing the get-togethers, but you are certainly showing up and wanting everyone to have a good time. As much as you have a good time, Leo, you want other people to have a good time. And that's a lot to do if you're a social Leo, if you're somebody who likes to go out, if you're somebody who has a lot of friends. That's a lot to do on a consistent basis. And what I'm feeling is just like, time out. You need time out, halftime, whatever. You're not on the field, you're not on the court, you're not on the stage, you're backstage taking a breather, you're taking 5, or you're having a bye week. However you want to think about it, Leo, I feel like when it comes to your affections and your emotions, it's just not what is in the forefront of your mind or what you're putting out there to people. Okay? You're backing off of your heart space, which makes sense. You can't do that in anything in life. You can't constantly be that way. So it makes sense to kind of pull back and want to take time for yourself, maybe rest. There's definitely elements of resting here in the spread. Some of you might need to take a vacation. Not that I see much travel, but there might just be that essence of, like I said, needing to take a break, needing to have a breather, you know, time out, for God's sakes. Because I feel like there's just been like this sort of either restlessness within you that has kind of drained you a little quicker. So maybe you haven't been like partying or haven't been super social, but you've been restless. And either way, whether you're hanging out with other people or whether you're kind of by yourself, secluded, but then feeling so antsy and tense and like revved up, but nowhere to go. Either way, you're going to need to have a break. And I think that that's what's going on here. You've got the Five of Wands right above your starting position, right? And the Five of Wands is traditionally understood to be a card of conflict, short conflict, like a burst of conflict or a spat, or like a sudden falling out, or like a petty falling out, if anything, right? And so that could have been it. Maybe some of you have had or will be having some type of disagreements with people in September. Maybe, you know, you're getting on someone's nerves, or they're getting on your nerves, and you kind of have it out with them, or, you know, you're driving home in the Uber and your best friend is just like really irking you, and you just like let them have it. It's like, you know what, for the past couple weeks, you've just been really rubbing me the wrong way, and I can't take it. I need a break from you. I'm going into seclusion. You might not say all of that, because when a Leo is actually revved up in the moment, they're probably not going to be so, because I feel that was slightly diplomatic what I just said, like, you're doing this and so I'm gonna go do this, you know, to safeguard our friendship. It's like, no, when a Leo has been like reached that breaking point, like duck and cover, right? Because, you know, and there's two people there, so again, it might be with someone external to you. And you're either letting them know, or you're making it sort of like this quick decision to just kind of back off, or have them back away from you. Like, you know what? I'm getting out of the cab now. Take the cab to your house. Don't call me. Don't text me. Just leave me alone. You know, that kind of thing. So you're walking away, or you're like sort of forcing someone to go away. Or this is you, Leo, like I said a little bit ago, feeling restless, feeling like you've got a lot of energy, you have a lot of opinions, or you have a lot of things that you're interested in doing, because wands are an action-oriented card associated with the element of fire. So that's a go, go, go energy. That's a producing type of energy, creative type of energy. And I feel like you have it in you, but it's just like hasn't been released yet, or it's like dripping out. It's like slowly, like molasses, like, you know, if you hold a jar of molasses upside down, you're going to be there for a while. You know what I mean? You're going to be there for a little bit. And so I feel like for those where it's not necessarily dealing with other people, what's going on inside is just like I said before, you have a you're revving your engine, but you don't know what race you're in. You don't know what track you're on, you know? So you're waiting for the green light, but once the green light hits, where the hell are you going to go? You don't really know. So there's sort of like a discombobulated energy also with the Five of Wands. It can be a confusing energy. And going back to the friendship thing, where some of you might have, you know, might be falling out with a friend or two. Like I said, it might be over something petty. It might be over something that nobody even knows what the hell's going on. Like, you're riding home from the club, or you're in a group chat or something like that, a group iMessage or something like that, and someone says something, and then another person's like, you know what, that's it, I've had enough, and like they leave the group conversation. You're like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? And you like scroll back through the messages, you're like, what is wrong with Leo? Or you're saying that about someone else, and you're just like, what? So there's just an element of also not knowing exactly what the problem is, but knowing that there is a problem, and seeing it, experiencing it, identifying it very quickly. Me and such, we had a falling out. Boom. You know what I'm talking about. You have this energy inside of you that you can't put it down anywhere. You can't release it. You can't ignore it. You can't exercise it off. You've been going to the gym consistently, but you still feel so wound up and tight all the time. It's like, it's not leaving you as quickly as you would like. Fives denote change, right? It will eventually go away. It's just not going at the speed that you would like, Leo, which is typical of just about everything in life, right? Leos are not known for their patience. So, in general, you wish this would go the hell away, but it's not. And I think it's because, like, you've got these, yeah, like, this is, like, really internal. This is, like, really, like, what you know about yourself. You're not feeling very affectionate. You're not feeling like you want to be expressive with your emotions. Like, you just want to feel them. You don't want to tell people how you're feeling. You don't want to, like, like I said, you don't want to have to explain yourself. I feel happy. Oh, look at you, you're smiling today. Yeah, okay, Barbara, yes, I am smiling. Like, you might be a little snippy with people, especially the King of Cups in reverse. He would definitely be more snippy with people, Leo. So beware of that. And I quoted beware because I'm like, so what? You know, this doesn't feel consistent, or excuse me, this doesn't feel long lasting. The King of Cups and the Five of Wands together, it's how you start off. I don't think it would persist throughout the month. Right? Right. And so if you're feeling down, you don't want to tell people that you're feeling down. You don't want to explain it if someone catches you, like, walking down the hall, or, like, you know, you pick up the phone and you call your cousin or something, or your mom, and they're like, oh, you sound stressed. Are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Because you just don't want to go into it. You just don't. You just want to be left to your own devices. And I think what's going on is, Leo, you're in this evaluation period, or at least that's sort of like what all this pent up energy and this, like, having disagreements with people is leading to. Like, it's time to evaluate next steps. What the hell's going on? What's up? What's up, right? Right, thank you. So, Prince of Pentacles. The equivalent of the Knight of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. Yeah, so evaluations, right? The Knight, or excuse me, in this case, the Prince of Pentacles, is making a judgment call, in a sense, or, like I said, evaluating, analyzing, looking over documents, some of you might literally be looking over documents, looking over details, combing through numbers and figures, and just, like, really trying to figure out everything that needs to happen so that the next step can happen. It's like a preparation is going on here. And you're really, like, serious about it, Leo. Please focus. Look at that guy's face. He's serious. Like, not scary serious, not, like, overbearing, but he's definitely, like, not here to play games. He's not here to muck around. He really has a certain goal in mind, and he wants to accomplish that goal. And I think that's what's going on here. At some point, I don't see it here, I don't see it here. It is a general reading after all, so it's not going to be clear to me, but hopefully it's clear to you, that this guy is formulating a plan. He's hatching a plan, an idea, a light bulb has gone off in this guy's mind or in his thought bubble or whatever, and he is going to put in the work to make that idea come to light. He's going to put down the foundations necessary so that his plan unfolds the right way. And that requires, I think I just mentioned it a little while ago, some type of patience, which is the antithesis of this. Like I said, the King of Cups would be snippy. He would also kind of be moody. And when someone is snippy and moody, they're probably not patient. This here represents conflict and all kinds of distress, excuse me. A lot of disarray, a lot of discombobulation, right? And that doesn't necessarily equate to or lend itself to patience. But what's going on here with the Prince of Pentacles and what's going here with the Four of Pentacles, patience, patience, patience. So, thank you. Hello. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, so there might be some kind of, like, big lesson that you're having to go through or realize. And I was like, why am I talking about lessons? Because nothing here is really screaming lessons to me. But today, I'm recording this on September 5th. And today is the last day of Saturn in retrograde. Hello. Now, if you're familiar with, like, the planets, and I'm not an astrologer or anything like that, I just know a little bit of something, right? So Saturn is the taskmaster of all the planets. He is the teacher, he is the lesson bringer, he is the school of hard knocks in terms of astrological considerations, right? So Leo, being that he was in retrograde for the past 5 months, taking you back to April, so between spring and now the beginning of, or towards the beginning of fall, maybe you have been this way for a while. You know, touch and go, not consistently. If you were consistently moody for 4 months, I don't think you would have many friends to argue with, okay? But you've been touch and go. Like I said that earlier, seesawing. Up and down, right? And I think that is because Leo, like I said before, is like a go, go, go energy, you know, on stage, out there in front, leading the pack, showing people what it's like to enjoy life and be joyful and to live in the moment and all that kind of stuff and appreciate the people around you. That's a lot to do. You can't do that all the time. So you've kind of gone to your extreme, which is to sort of retreat, to go internal, deeply internal, because Leo is very expressive. It's a very outward energy that Leos usually have, right? It's very, oh God, why is that word slipping my mind? Extroverted, thank you. So Leos tend to be extroverted people. Not all of them are. God knows that's true. But just that inclination is natural to most Leos, is to be a leader in something. Whether you're out there literally on stage performing, literally giving speeches, literally standing up, you know, pulling like a Coyote or Coyote Ugly. Is that the name of that movie? Coyote Ugly? Like that one where the women dance on the bar? Whatever. That would be some Leo's thing. Is like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to live it up with my friends and all that other kind of stuff. Other Leos will lead, but do it on a more quiet scale, do it on a more low-key kind of way. But either way, that energy of outward has been challenged since Saturn has gone into retrograde. At least that's part of the lesson, I think, that you have experienced or have had to sort of come to terms with during the retrograde period of Saturn. Because Saturn wants you to look at your life, Leo. Not just Leo, but everybody. But since I'm doing your reading now, you're the one I'm talking to directly. And he wants you to look at your life and pinpoint the areas in your life that need to change, that need to have a deeper understanding or deeper points of clarity, deeper points of appreciation, or to be released. Like, okay, you see that there? That's not working. Get rid of it. You know, and so it will resonate with everybody differently. But Leo, what I'm seeing here, for those who this is going to resonate with and what's come out here in the spread, is it's this energy of having so much demonstrative energy, so much energy that says, I need to go out there and be the best and live the best life and be the best person I can be, the best friend, the best wife, the best husband, the best brother, the best sister, whatever. And just kind of, not in an achievement way, but more of like I think I said it earlier, like wanting people to live life on your level, with your same esteem, with your same vigor and attention to, yeah, I feel like there's just like, you have wanted to express a lot of joy and happiness and excitement about life, and it's come in spurts throughout the past 5 months, or even before then. But once Saturn went retrograde, you were challenged to tone that down. You were challenged to kind of pull back on the reins a little bit and control yourself, right? That's what this revved up energy, revved up and nowhere to go. Having emotions but not showing them. Having a lot of things that you could say about a person, a lot of affection and sentimental things that you could express to someone, but not wanting to not wanting to overdo it. That's it. And of course that is a cliched perception of Leo, but sometimes cliched perceptions have a little bit of truth in them. Leo can go overboard. Leo can go a little too far, according to other people's sensibilities and according to other people's, just ideas of what is respectful or what is appropriate per whatever situation we're talking about. So Just for an example, going out to dinner in public and going out to a restaurant, a Leo might make a joke and then laugh really loudly, like, you know, just like fills the restaurant with their laughter. Now, to me, subjectively, as a Leo, I love that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, look at that person over there. They're having a great time. Good for them. Other people would view it as really obnoxious, potentially rude to laugh so loud, bang your hand down on the table. Ha, 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 ha. That was great. That's a great joke, Bill. Whatever. That can be really off-putting to people. And I think Leo has been challenged to, like I said, pull back on the reins on what they naturally might want to do. So you might naturally, with the King of Cups in reverse, why am I still holding this? Because we're going to come back to this, that's why, thank you. But you might naturally, with the King of Cups, might naturally, like I said, want to tell someone every day, partner, spouse, best friend, your cousin, whoever you're close to, you might want to tell that person you love them every day and tell them how important they are to you, like how much they mean to you. And on paper, that sounds good, but in reality, that can be overwhelming to a person. When you express yourself so much to them and tell them how much you mean to them, that might put a pressure on some people that makes them feel really anxious about letting you down. Like, oh my God, Leo loves me so much. If I put one toe out of line, if I do one thing to disappoint them or upset them or anger them or make them sad, I'll just destroy them, which of course is not true. Leo is very resilient, but you see what I mean? So like, as much as from your point of view, Leo, it might be a great thing to always tell someone that you appreciate them, that you care about them, that you value them, that you love them. It can be too much if you do it every day. So that's what these two are about. You've slowed yourself down. You've kind of pulled back on those reins. You've edited yourself. And that can be difficult for a Leo, to edit themselves, to make themselves not be as big as they want to be, as bright and luminous as they naturally are, right? Like, again, if you're a performer on stage, I don't care if you're doing, a concert, a musical concert, if you're doing stand-up comedy, I don't care what you're doing. To say to someone who is used to being center stage, tone it down, it's like, what? We're in a theater. I've got hundreds, thousands of seats. People here need to see me and hear me. What do you mean tone it down? Moody, snippy, not being able to be your full self. And I think it is because, again, the Leo sometimes loses sight of how their presence can affect another person negatively. I'm going to put the quotes on it, negatively, because, that's relative. But like I said before, if you're loud, boisterous, always looking to make a joke, always looking to make a friend everywhere you go, that can be really annoying to some people. And that is to some degree their issue, but if they are your friend, your wife, your husband, your child, whoever, and you value that person, you then have to make those compromises, Leo. You then kind of have to make some concessions, right? If you want that relationship to flourish, if you want that relationship to continue on in the way and be successful, be beneficial to both people, you kind of have to make those concessions. So you've learned to back off. Long way of saying that to get back here. You've learned to back off, and now you're planning on what you're going to do when you reemerge. Are you going to go back to being your loud self, slapping the table, laughing so loud it fills up the room? Or are you going to turn it down a notch or two? I don't think a Leo would ever, and I would be disappointed if I heard one of you did, would ever edit themselves as to be inauthentic. And that maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's the lesson that you're trying to get to, Leo, is how do I maintain my authenticity? How do I remain being who I am, being who I was born as, or the type of person that I was born to be, but not stepping on anybody's toes or not making other people feel small? Because Leo's, unless you're an enemy, if you're someone that Leo truly values, they don't want to make you feel small. They want you to feel just as awesome as they are. Like, look, come on out here on stage with me. Like, Leo would be that performer who, like, calls someone up on stage, like, from the audience, like, like at a, like at a concert, like, look at all these fine ladies out here tonight in the audience. Bring the house lights up. Let me see them. And, you know, points out, you there, you in the red sweater. Come here, baby. You know, that would be a Leo. Come on up here. You're beautiful. And they would sing this solo to this stranger because they want to share that moment in the spotlight with someone else. Like, that's a very, like, specific example, but, like, that's what came to my mind. Some, like, slightly cheesy, but also titillating R&B, like, singers, like, just pulling women up on stage. Or, you know, if you're one, pulling a dude up on stage and, like, hi, baby, what's your name? Da-da-da. Come on and sit down over here. Let me sing to you, you know. So that's what's going on. It's like, how do I maintain who I am? Remain true to myself, remain honest, remain the same person that everybody loves me to be, but not impose on other people, not overdo it. You know? Prince of Pinnacles, that's what he's doing. There might be also some interest in your finances. You know, maybe here you had a conflict about money with a friend. Or maybe a friend, like, challenged you, like, Leo, what are you doing? You're living outside of your means. Like, this could be, like, a best friend or something like that. Like, Leo, you spent $200 at the bar last night. And you're like, yeah, I know. They're like, Leo, you don't make that much money. You don't know my business. You don't know, you don't work at my bank. You don't cut my checks. Who are you talking to? Leo, come on, man. That was so much money to spend on a Thursday night. That was ridiculous. You don't have to do that. You need to cut back on this, or you need to watch your money. And didn't you just complain to me the other day that you didn't have enough money to do this? Don't worry about my money, man. Leave me alone. Da-da-da. You know? And so now you're kind of like taking to heart the lesson that your friend was reflecting to you or displaying to you. And you're like, dang, I really do need to think about my money. I really do need to kind of edit the way that I celebrate with friends. So maybe you're like researching cheaper ways or free ways to have fun with your friends out in the city or out in the town or whatever. Or maybe you're setting up a schedule for yourself. Okay, instead of going out like 5 times a month, 6 times a month, maybe I'll only go out 4 or 3 times. Or, you know, instead of going out, maybe we could just get together at a friend's house and we could have some drinks, watch a movie, do whatever. Like, let's all chill together inside. It's always cheaper, right, to hang out with people in someone's home or, you know, throw a party at home than it is to go out and, like, spend, like, $12 on a freaking drink, you know? $12, that's, like, an okay bottle of liquor and a probably pretty good bottle of wine. So, there you go. So, there might be this evaluation of your finances going on. Like, I need to change my lifestyle a little bit in order to get to whatever goal you have. So you could have a savings goal, you could have a goal for your 401k or investments. You could just have a goal to, like, save up and have a vacation, right? Whatever it is. 4 of Pentacles. So again, there's like this evaluation, there's this pausing, there's this holding pattern that some of you are going to go through. Oh, focus, please. Hello. There. Oh, work with me. New camera, work with me, please. Thank you. There we go. So, 4 of Pentacles. So some of you might actually be talking to someone, like a counselor, or I'm getting a pastor in some cases, or someone at your church, not necessarily the pastor, but just someone who might be on the board or on a certain committee or something like that. Or you're talking to an old friend, an old colleague, and you're just like, being like, am I crazy to think I need to change so much about me? Like, I think you're looking to be confirmed that you should change, but you also sort of want, not advice, but you certainly I think you just kind of want a sounding board. Like, how much do you think I should change? Like, is this too much? Like if I, instead of going out, like I said, 4 or 5 or 6 times a month, maybe I go out once a month. Is that like overkill? And this person can be like, yeah, Leo, that's overkill. You know, you would go crazy if you only go out once a month. Like, come on, let's get real here, okay? And like I said, with the finances thing, this could be someone that is working for a financial institution. And I'm looking particularly at the man in the suit, right? Like he looks like he's the boss of something. The branch manager of some kind of bank or credit union or something like that. And this woman is just like, so I need to like save money, but I don't know how, or like I'm really ashamed and asking for advice, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's like really serious. He's like, well, what are your goals, Mary? Tell me your goals and I'll help you achieve your goals. So some of you are having like a really honest conversation about your finances and like what needs to happen, what steps need to take place in order to achieve whatever your goal is. Others of you, there might be an earth sign around you who could just advise you generally. Like I said, not an actual person who works for a bank or a counselor or anything like that, but or a pastor, but just a person whose advice and opinion like you value, like you trust this person. More than you value it, you trust this person. This person is pretty trustworthy. This person has a good head on their shoulders and you respect them for that. And you don't want to mince words with them and you don't want them to mince words with you. Like it's straight talk. Like no filter kind of energy is what's going on here. And if you're not actually talking to someone else, this is again just like evaluations that you're going on, that you're conducting with yourself. You are making sure that what you're doing isn't too much. You don't want to go overboard. And I feel like now that I've touched on this Saturn retrograde thing, it's like yes. I think a lot of Leo's lesson, or a lot of Leos out there, your lesson was, what does it mean to go too far? What does it mean to go overboard or be too much? OTT, over the top, right? A lot of you are doing like this internal dialogue with yourself, like, I just want to have fun. You know, the woman in the front. And, you know, maybe you feel a little bit ashamed or embarrassed for, like, wanting to have fun or, like, cracking jokes that people might find to be a little inappropriate. Or, like, it was just a joke. I wasn't, like, trying to hurt anybody's feelings. And then the other part of you is like, but, you know, we're an adult now. Or, you know, those weren't your friends. They were, like, your coworker. Like, room a little bit better. Or going forward, remember who's in the room. Like, you know, and it can be like that sometimes. Like, let's say you do something socially with some people that you know from work, and you know them, it's sort of casual. You think they're good. You think they're good people, and they probably are. But then you bring them towards like your true friends, like your inner circle of friends, and then things get a little mixed, right? Because you have someone who, in a professional setting, you have certain rules or regulations or certain boundaries up. And then when you mix them with people who you kind of have no boundaries with, people that you've known for 10 years, 18 years, you know, even shorter periods of time, but that you're super close with, that you can kind of let your guard down with, and you kind of can be your natural self with, when those two worlds get together, some toes might get stepped on, some sensibilities might get a little irked or a little pinched, you know? And so you're going back and you're like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that one joke about, you know, this group of people, or maybe I shouldn't have said this about my boss in front of Sally, you know, like, oh, I forgot that she's kind of close with my boss, or she eats lunch with him like twice a week. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, you know? So, again, I feel like editing is a thing, or like tapering down your energy or changing certain behaviors is a thing. But I don't see it as being like this night and day sort of transformation, or this night and day change, or this pivotal moment in your life, Leo, where one day you're who people recognize and the next day you're a complete stranger. I don't see it to be that drastic. But I think it is a considerable change that you're trying to make. Yeah. It's a considerable change. What it is, I don't know. Like I said before, like none of these are major arcanas. So why am I saying that again? Because major arcanas usually are talking about bigger themes in your life. Sometimes they can speak to a specific person, but it's usually a thematic overview of your life or overview of a certain sector in your life. When you have the minors, which is all you have here, it's more like specific and tailored to you in a very specific situation. Hence, I'm not throwing out, this is love, this is work, it could be any of it. Like, when there's all minors, it's like, well, what the hell's going on? Because there's not huge themes going on. There's a lot of energy. You know, you've got pentacles, you've got some swords here. So I can say it's about your earthly possessions and things that consider or concern your position here on Earth in the 3D realm, and it also concerns your mental capacities, the way you think and communicate and all that kind of stuff. But I can't say, well, it might be dealing with this type of person and it might be in this situation, because it's energetic. It's more, it's a wider net that I think is going on for Leo's energy in this reading. So, could be work, could be family, could be yourself, could be a love situation, could be anything, Leo. What's this? Past? Yeah. So, Leo, what I think happened, or is kind of congruent with, like, this might be like the bookend of where September starts and August ended for you, but for others it goes back even further. You had a situation that you walked away from, or you had a attachment that you had to let go of. I'll say that. 3 of Cups. Attachment that you had to let go of. 3 of Cups, traditional Rider-Waite, talks about celebrations, talks about camaraderie and feasting together, partying together, sharing sort of brotherhood and sisterhood with people, and being really like sort of joyful and really like wrapped up in the romance of life, like the natural, what I'm getting is like natural highs or natural aphrodisiacs of life is what they're saying. Yeah, like feeling really in love with life, in love with your friends, in love with your partner, etc., etc. Also potentially third party situation traditionally is how this is understood. I'm not getting that energy of a third party in this 3 of Cups. Could have been, but I'm not really feeling it. If it is, it wasn't like a big one. I don't know how else to explain it. It wasn't like a big third party situation. It was like this other thing or this other person was involved, but not as strongly as that phrase sometimes suggests. So, anyway. So, there was an attachment between you and another person, or you and a situation. In this case, it doesn't even have to be a person. But there was just like this strong affinity between you and someone else or something else. So what do I mean by something else? Could be a hobby, could be like a prized possession of yours. Like maybe you had like a car that you've had since you were like 19 years old and you kept it up and you did all this maintenance on it and everything like that. And you loved that car to death, or you loved your guitar, your prized guitar, or you had a painting that you were working on for like over a year. Maybe you're an artist and you were working on a huge wall canvas or something like that. And it was just like you felt really inspired by this person or inspired by this object. You felt really, really, like I said, effusive towards it. You loved them or it, and you felt it loved you back, or it was a way in which you could express your love and other people could like admire it. Like, oh my god, look at your car, that's a cool car, what year is that, and what kind of engine, taking it to car shows or classic car shows or whatever, showing your painting, you know, inviting people over to your studio, and you're like, okay, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to do this next. And you're like, oh my God, I love what you're doing with the colors. I love what you're doing with this texture here. Oh, and you're using oil and acrylic. I don't know if that actually goes together. I'm not an artist. But, you know, and there was a degree of admiration involved. You admired the person, they admired you. You admired the object, and the object gain the admiration of other people. Okay, I hope you follow that. And for a long time, if not a long time, but for a considerable amount of time, I'll say, it was just like heaven. Like, these two people are just like caught up in each other's energy. They look like dancers. Looks like they have ballet shoes on and ballet tights or whatever, and they're just in each other's world. They're not really paying attention. Thank you. The song they put in my head, I'm not going to sing it, but the song that they put in my head is Drunken Love by Beyonce. You know, like when she sang that song, lyrically and with her emotions, like she was telling you, for real, this is my life. I love my man. He loves me. Surfboard, okay? It was just, and they were insular. That song is a song about an insular love, a tight, a woven kind of love, like together, layered. Like I'm seeing like bricks, you know. Like I hope that I explained that, and that's what it was. But something happened. And I threw that card down like there. I didn't mean to do it like that, but that's what happened. I went poof like that. So something happened, and it's not like that anymore. So in the case of the classic car, maybe it's broken down, or maybe something really happened mechanically with it, and now you can't even get the car to start anymore. Maybe something happened, and someone vandalized it, or you know, it got wrecked, something like that, and there's no going back to it. There's no repairing it. There's no way to get it back to what it was. If it's your painting, maybe you sold it. Maybe there was an accident in your studio. Maybe there was a fire, or someone came along and damaged it. Or you lost your passion for it. Like you had a vision, but then somewhere along the way, your vision changed, or you just couldn't connect with what you originally were trying to do. And now it's like you're stuck with this huge painting that's incomplete and isn't exactly what you wanted it to be. And now you're like, damn, what am I going to do with this thing? I can't sell it. I can't destroy it. And you're kind of like feeling flustered. If it's a relationship, could have been a breakup. And I hit it down like this. Like I put that card down. I was like, boom, but something happened. Like that. So if it was a breakup, I think it was sudden. To some degree unexpected. Or to some degree like weren't expecting it to be that way. Like maybe you were expecting a breakup, but you weren't expecting it to be delivered however it was delivered. Or maybe you were like, okay, maybe we'll take a break. Maybe we'll, you know, take a breather, time out or whatever for a couple of days, and then we'll come back and we'll work on things, whatever. And I feel like someone was like, no, this is it, boom, and leaves. Like, leaves. I'm leaving. Boom. Doors closed. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Or you did that to someone and they're like, what the hell just happened? But sort of in whatever situation, it's almost like a snap of the fingers. Like, boom, it's over. Boom, it's changed. Right? And that could have been, since again, Saturn, he's not really shown up in the cards, but he's shown up in just what my guides are wanting me to talk about. So for some of you, this could have been since April, since springtime, 4 months, so maybe 4 weeks ago, which would have been a month ago, 4 years? No, not that far. Thanks. So not 4 years ago, but it can go beyond the 4 months ago, is basically the point. It can be within the 4 months or beyond the 4 months, but not probably 4 years. That would be a long time. It's basically, they're like, that would be too long. No. Anyway, so the change that happened, or the ending, or the whatever that happened is just sort of like boom. And somebody stepped out, walked out, not returning, turned their back. Seven of Swords. That's how I normally read this card in this deck. I am, though, getting the traditional reading of this card, or the traditional interpretation of this card, which is a little bit of scandal, right? A little bit of lies, a little bit of deceit, a little bit of purposeful deception, okay? Someone does something, they know it's wrong, and they do it anyway. So I did mention third party, and again, I'm not feeling it like someone cheated, but I do feel like somebody was like, I'm gonna go over here now, and oh look, someone's waiting for me. Like, in a relationship sense, maybe your ex-partner or you, Leo, whoever walked off, they didn't cheat, but they went right into the arms of someone else. Which is, you know, technically not cheating, but sure, probably doesn't feel great for whoever is left holding the bag, so to speak, or whoever's left standing in the middle of the living room like, what? All your stuff is gone? You packed up while I was at work? What? You know? And if it's not that, if it's not a third party situation, it is this feeling of like a dynamic in the relationship changed overnight. So someone maybe started a certain behavior that wasn't the best. Maybe somebody started like, not in a third party situation way of going about it, but maybe someone started like locking their phone. Maybe somebody started, you know, like hanging out later after work than they ever did. Like normally you're home by 6 and now you've consistently 2 nights this week come in at 8 o'clock. Where are you going? What are you doing? I'm hanging out with friends. And that's literally what they're doing. And maybe the reasoning is like the lie, or the reasoning isn't the full truth. Well, why are you hanging out with your friends 2 nights a week? Like, how come you don't want to come home and spend time with me? You know, I'm just wanting to relieve stress from work. Partially true. The other part of the truth is, I don't want to hang out with you. You're overbearing, or I'm so bored in this relationship, or, you know, I'm depressed. And when I'm with you, I don't feel less depressed. When I'm with my friends, I feel less depressed. And so there's like a tiptoeing around the truth with the Seven of Swords. In the case of like the person who owns the car or has a prized possession, someone may have damaged your stuff or destroyed your stuff purposefully, but they try to play it off like it was an accident. Or, you know, like I said, maybe you lost your inspiration with a certain project. Maybe you were building something in your home. Maybe you were working on restoring an old piece of furniture. And now you just don't have that energy and you can't tell the truth. Or you're not being honest with yourself or being honest with other people. Hey, Leo, weren't you working on, you know, that great mahogany chest out in the garage? Weren't you like, you know, 2 or 3 steps away from finishing it? Oh, yeah. I just don't have the time. Blah, 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 blah. And it's about time. And, you know, oh, your back has been acting up, blah, 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 blah. Half truth. The other part of the truth is you got depressed for some reason that only you know, Leo. And you're not explaining that to your husband or your wife. You're not explaining that to people who are asking, oh, when are you going to finish the chest? I'm looking, you know, I can't wait to see pictures of it, or I can't wait to come over and look at it. Or if you're making it or restoring it for someone else, they can't wait to possess it because that was the deal between you. Like, I'm going to do this thing. Will you buy it off of me when I'm done? So that's sort of how that fell apart. And I think the Six of Swords is here to pinpoint. Right. So the Six of Swords is oriented, the face of this guy, Mr. Freddie Mercury, doing like a ballet pose or something like that. His orientation is towards the Seven of Swords, his head, or his face, right? And it's illuminated in this card. Everything else is sort of shadowy, or, you know, it's sort of like the dawn is breaking or something. But for some reason, there's a spotlight on this guy's head or on his face. And it allows him to see into this darker card of the Seven of Swords. So what does that mean? Six of Swords, whoever that is, could be you, Leo, knows the truth, but doesn't really express it, isn't really letting that truth destabilize him or her or you or whoever we're talking about. because this is about balance, right? All sixes are about balance, reciprocity, things coming out equally, right? Or being shared equally, or being measured equally, right? And whatever the Seven of Swords is about, deception, lies, sneaking away, destruction, whatever, you or someone else in the situation, your partner, your ex-partner, the person that, commissioned you for the painting, whoever, they know the truth of the lie, the deception, the destruction, whatever. But they're not letting that truth destabilize them. They're pushing through, they're staying focused, or they're allowing themselves to be guided in some cases. And it's just not a big deal. Not perhaps at that moment when the lie was told or the deception was first detected, but I think coming out, because again, your main read is over here in these 4 cards. This is like the past. This is like an accumulation of the past. Not like this is the inception, like start, middle, end, basically, of whatever this past situation is. In the beginning, you were so in love with whoever or whatever, then something happened, a little bit of deception, some lies, some sleight of hand, and then the outcome or the ending of that situation is restoring balance, or not allowing that clearer perception or that clearer understanding to throw everything off track. Okay? So, very similar on both sides. It's just here we've got more of an external influence or external players involved, Leo. But all around, again, minor arcana, so it's within your control what you're going to do, how much you're going to do, when you're going to do it, all that kind of stuff. It's really in your control. There's not, aside from this being the end of Saturn retrograde, there isn't really much influence outside of Saturn coming from the universe, coming from the ethers, so to speak. This is all within your grasp, okay? It's all within you to work this out, right? So what's the outcome for September? 4 of Swords. So, another 4, right? Because you had a 4 of Pentacles here. So, more balance, more structure, more foundational work. In this case, though, I think it's about in some cases, I feel like this is a tandem energy because you've got multiple people on the card. You've got those 4 swords and they're all pointed the same way. And it's similar in that to the traditional card or to the traditional Rider-Waite deck, in that there's a rest, right? Because these people are resting. There's the camel in the background, so they're taking a breather, right? Everybody's having a nice little rest down there, excuse me, on this rug. But like I said, it's like a tandem energy. So I feel like, Leo, some of you are in partnership with someone, business, romantic, whatever, roommates, whoever, and they also are kind of getting their head in the game, getting clear on something, because we're talking about swords, mental capacities, and they're all pointed in the same direction. So there's this tandem sort of teamwork feeling to this. Like there's something where you have a goal, they have a goal, and there's sort of like a symbiosis between what you want and what somebody else wants, okay? It's not that you necessarily want the same things or that you're thinking the same things, but you're copacetic, you're getting along, okay? And like I said, this is like a card, or excuse me, these guys have been traveling, but they're resting. So for some of you Leos, you might be coming back from a trip or preparing to go on a trip, and just before or after said trip, there's going to be like a cool down period, a reflective period with you and your friends. Like maybe you're getting an itinerary together and like, look, this is our first like international trip together. Let's, look at some maps. Let's look some stuff up. Let's get our, currency exchange set up. Let's plan this out. Or, now that we're back, we're jet lagged, we're tired as hell. Let's unpack our stuff. Let's organize our souvenirs and all that kind of stuff. But I think the bottom line for the Four of Swords is very similar to the Four of Pentacles and the Prince of Pentacles, is that it is this continued energy of rest, reflect, plan. Rest, reflect, plan, plot, getting ready. Getting ready. Okay? Because just as much as these guys have stopped and are catching their breath and, you know, making sure they don't have heat stroke out there in the desert, they're also still getting ready to go back out on those camels, back out across the desert. And there's like a little bit of water here in the top corner. So there's definitely this idea of refueling, basically. You're stopping only to start again. A rest stop. You know, road trip. Maybe some of you are on a road trip. Or are planning a road trip. Maybe you're going to follow like Forrest Gump's tracks, but on wheels and not on foot. And you're like plotting when and where you're going to stop and refuel yourselves, refuel your car, whatever. Overall energy for the Eight of Cups. Overall energy for the month is the Eight of Cups. So definitely very similar to the traditional understanding of this card is being displeased and like being over it. You know, traditionally this is a card of walking away from dissatisfaction, from situations that don't serve or don't enlighten or don't fulfill you anymore, and going towards something better. The difference is this person isn't moving. So that again is tying into this theme of you're wanting to move, you're wanting to take action, Leo, but you're kind of having to hold back from taking action. So there's definitely a paused energy for September. There's definitely this feeling of, I want to do it, but I can't do it just yet because the plan isn't 100% straight. I can't leave the country yet because I don't have my tickets, or my passport isn't ready, or I'm not leaving the United States or wherever the hell I am until the end of September. So it's literally, in some cases, a matter of time. It's a matter of time where you want to act, but the timing is not right. And Saturn deals with time as well. Gosh, he's a big player. So research that, read up on it, watch other tarot readers that are talking about, or astrologers who are talking about Saturn retrograde and what that effect has had over the past 4 or 5 months or whatever it is. 5 months, right? Not 4 months, I'm sorry. 5 months. My bad. But yeah, go back and research like what Saturn retrograde, first of all, find out where it is in your birth chart. That would be helpful. And then research what it means when Saturn goes retrograde, and kind of go back and look at where you've had to pump the brakes. Because that's all this is more pumping of the brakes, or finally like slowly easing off of that brake, releasing the clutch, getting up to speed, slowly but surely, okay? All right, so this ran way long, so I'm going to stop it there, Leo. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button at the bottom. It's a thumbs up. It looks like that. If you did like what you saw here, also leave comments below. That would be amazing. Also, please subscribe and please share the video if you feel so inclined to do so. I've told all the other signs. One of my goals with starting this channel is to sort of be able to communicate and hopefully resonate or share resonance, I should say, with as many people as possible. And I'm very blessed. I'm feeling very humbled and appreciative of all those who have subscribed, all those who do come back and view, even if you're not a subscriber. I appreciate all of that, but I obviously would want more. And it's not an egotistical thing. It really is like tarot and astrology has just always been there for me at certain points in my life when I needed it. There have been people that I've connected with that have been helping me or have helped me through trying times, and so now I feel like really compelled to return the favor. And so given the medium that I've chosen so far, which is YouTube, I might be working on some other things very soon, but for now it's YouTube. And so how do I get in contact with more people? That means more likes, more comments, more shares, and more subscriptions. And so if you value that goal, or if you feel you want to help me with that goal, or even if you just generally are like, I don't really care about your goal, Jay, but I do like what you're saying. I'm just going to show this to people. You know, whatever. Please do any of that stuff that YouTube allows you to do if you feel so compelled, okay? I will be back in about 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm going to bring you your October messages at that time, Leo. Thank you guys so much for walking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.